On April 19, 1989, reports state a rapid series of 3 explosions aboard USS Iowa resulted in the instantaneous deaths of 47 American sailors. Tocsin Magazine's correspondent spoke with 3 men who survived the explosion. In honor of Veterans Day, we want to salute these men and all other men and women who work to protect our country. We salute you.
Welcome to the Everything Old School podcast with Marquise Marrow. We are affiliated with Tocsin Magazine. And today we are going to speak about the USS Iowa explosion, which happened in 1989. And I know if you're of age and you from America, you have to know about it. You had to hear about it. But what you did not hear are the young black heroes, some of the young black heroes that helped the ship stay afloat. They saved many lives, but no one knows who they are. And I might add that there's all different race, creeds, and colors that were on the ship and helped save the ship. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline and profile the young black ones. And y'all were teenagers. I want you to introduce yourself, brother.
Good evening. My name is Robert Hester, United States Navy, Orlando, Florida, SH3. How you doing this evening?
Nice to meet you, man. Long time no see, man. I had a good time in Egypt with you, but we're going to get to business right now. We're going to start from scratch. Right. What I want to know is what made you go into the Navy and what year did you go in?
I guess after I had done 2 years of college playing basketball, and
Can you come closer to the mic?
Mm-hmm. I guess after playing 2 years of basketball in college, and things got to where I needed to make a move, and I thought the Navy would be the smartest way to go. And in April 18, 1988, that's when I joined the Navy. Went to boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois. Left there.
You not both?
Yeah. So after graduation in deck training school, my first order was really to Holy Lot, Scotland, but due to the current issues I was hearing because I was married, they didn't want to send me to Holy Lot, so I ended up getting my orders changed to the USS Iowa. It's just so rare that I come aboard the Iowa. I think that was in September, maybe October. I got to the Iowa in '88, and it took off from there.
What college did you go to?
I attended Pensacola Junior College in Pensacola, Florida.
You had a scholarship?
Yes, basketball scholarship. Yes, I received my AS degree in business, so it was quite, it was cool. But because of the responsibility that occurred after college, I decided to join the Navy and give it a shot to raise my family as a young man at the age of 19.
What position did you play?
I played in high school, I played for center. Then once I got off to college, I had to learn how to play a little guard and a little shooting guard. But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. How tall are you anyway? You good 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'4". Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if you remember, but we played a lot of ball on that ship.
Oh yeah.
And overseas in the gyms. That was the best.
Right. And 24.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Now, what I wanted to ask you, what was your job on the USS Iowa, and what division were you in, and explain to people what a division is and things of that sort.
Okay, well, on the board ships, there's so many departments. I started out in deck department, which deck department pretty much was the postmates of the ship, where we did a lot of painting and kept the bright work clean. I think it was like six division we had. So I did about 3 months in deck department, and once I finished my 90 days of
mess cranking.
Yes, sir, mess cranking. I was in the wardroom. I thought it would be easy, but it was a little work. So once I finished there, I went to supply, and I become a ship serviceman. Which it was just wonderful. It was cool to learn sales and retail services aboard ship. How to, handle the vending, cut hair, laundry, dry cleaning. We did all the sales aboard ship once we was out at sea.
Right. And talk about mess cranking, man. Talk about getting no sleep. What? What was that like 18-hour days or 20-hour days for 3 months straight, right?
On the way, it was a lot of hours. But in port, we were rollerblading in port.
Underway. Well, I had the mess crank underway, and for those who don't know, underway means when you're going from one country to another. That's what underway is. So when you first got to the ship, did you enjoy it? I mean, did you like it, or did you want to go home? And were you aware that you were on one of the most decorated ships ever, the USS Iowa battleship? Were you aware of the greatness at the time?
I didn't have a clue. I was lost. But what was because when I got to the ship, we was in Portsmouth, Virginia, and the ship was in dry dock. And for those that don't know, dry dock is when you drive into, it's like a ship garage, and it raises up out of the water. It brings the ship out of the water, and it sits on I say little stands or whatever have you for the ship, so they can get to the bottom of the ship. You can see the keel, the blades. There's so many things that's under the bottom of the ship that needs to be worked on. That's why they go to dry dock to bring it out of water. And they sit on like a little platform. It's neat how they set it up. You don't know, because when they bring the ship aboard with the tugboats, you don't know what's going to happen. Then they tie it down, then a day or two later, there it is. You out of the water, and just amazing how big that ship is underneath.
Oh yeah. I mean, first of all, there was 2,500 people on it, correct? And it's like a football field. If you jog around it 4 times, it was a mile.
Right, correct.
Yeah, it is big. You right. We had plenty of fun days on there. And I wanted to know also, what was your GQ station? Now, for those who are watching and don't know, GQ is General Quarters. And I want you to explain exactly what General Quarters is.
All right. My General Quarters station was back aft in the Big Gun Turret 3, the aft part of the ship. And the General Quarters station was mainly your battle fighting station. Like when we go into war, we in a war situation where we have to shoot the guns. Everybody have their own. Well, each department and division have their own location throughout the ship that they're called a General Quarters station. And my General Quarters station was the aft gun turret number 3. I was the phone talker from magazine to magazine with the powder bags.
I was in turret 3 too. I didn't know that. Now tell the people what we used to do. How we used to dress for GQ. We had to put your pants and your sock and button all the way up to the top and just stop what you doing. You remember that? Tell
Yeah,
the people about
oh,
that experience.
yeah, you got to tuck your pants leg in your socks, pull them up, button up all the way. Then you had to have this what was that fighting thing we had to put over our head during the general quarters. Sometimes we had to put the OBA on. Just the OBA, for those that don't know, that's the oxygen breathing apparatus. And but usually we would just man up with the gloves and the head protector and the phones over my head to communicate with the other phone talkers that's in the powder room that's just hoisting up for them to fire the missile out of the guns.
Right. And did you ever realize why we had to dress like that? Put no metal. You had to put your dog tags in your shirt. And
Right.
do you know why we had to do that?
Yes. I mean, at first I didn't, but once I got in and became Joe Navy, I realized that, it was a safety issue that, anything possible could happen when that fresh powder bag come out of that magazine.
And not only that, if you run into your GQ, because our pants from the bottom, they were, what do you call them, bell bottoms? You could trip or they could get stuck on something. So we had to eliminate all possibilities to get to our war place as soon as we could.
Correct.
So out of the 3 turrets, there was turret 1, turret 2, and you in turret 3. Now, what I want to discuss is April 19th, 1989. I want to discuss this explosion that killed 47 sailors, and you were a part of that experience, and you were also a part of saving the ship, because if it wasn't for the acts of you and many others, the whole ship could have went down. So there could have been a lot more than 47 casualties. And this is the root of why I want to have this conversation. And I want you to have your flowers while you can smell them and enjoy them, because the world needs to know that you're an unsung American hero. You are a military hero, whether anybody says it, acknowledges or not. It doesn't change what you did.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't change what you did just because people don't give you credit for it. You still did what you did.
Right.
So I'm here to give you credit.
Well, I thank you, sir. Really
all right. So I want you to walk through with me, and with the listeners. April 19th, 1989. Where were you?
Oh, I was just, I was working at night down in the laundry room. Me and S.A. Street Walker. That was our, while we was on the way, we always worked the laundry and dry cleaning on the way, 12-hour shifts. So,
where was the ship at the time?
It was fun, man.
That was Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, we was off the coast of Puerto Rico, Roosevelt Roads. And I think it's probably the second day after we had been on the way, that's when we got closer to the gun range down there. And just like, when we first, the first time I ever went out with the ship, we went down there and they was gun testing. But this particular time, so after we got off work and went
hold on, keep that thought, because you say gun testing. I want the people to realize that you're not talking about machine guns. You're not talking about handguns. You're not talking about rifles. Right. You're talking about 16-inch guns that the projectiles will make holes 6 miles deep.
Correct.
So I just wanted to clarify, when you said guns, we ain't talking about everyday guns. So continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just needed some clarity for the listeners.
Yeah, we was, we go out there and test the 16-inch guns. And so that particular morning, just as we got off from working at night, we come to the berthing area. It was me, Seaman Foley, Darrell Jack, Petty Officer Walker, and
I remember all of them.
And it's one other SH was in the berthing. So me and Seaman Foley had just come out of deck division, and the same day we went to supply, and so we was all in the berthing talking, and my last word that he shared with me, never go nowhere.
Could you repeat that?
The last word that I shared with Seaman Foley before he was killed in the explosion, we was all in the berthing. We were just talking, then he just said, "Well, man, let me get on. I guess I get on to this gun turret, but I sure would like to be back home with Mama, because him and his wife had just got married the week before." Oh. And 30 years, I hear it just like yesterday.
So when you guys were talking, and we didn't touch, but when to go to GQ, there's an alarm, there's a sound. Right. So that's how we all knew how to go to GQ. So while you guys were having this conversation, the GQ alarm went off?
No, the GQ alarm didn't go off after we had had the conversation, and everybody went to their general quarter station. But since me and SH3 Walker, we worked at night, so we had a pass because to lay down and get some rest. And where our compartment was, it was on the outer skirts of the gun turret 2 that exploded. So once I had just laid down and got off to sleep, I heard the big bang from the run shot, boom. Then so they went to go shoot the second shot, and they said they have a misfire. Then all of a sudden you heard like a unusual boom, boom, boom. Then the general quarter alarm went off, and I can remember the captain said, "This is not a drill. This is not a drill. We already have one casualty. Everybody man your battle station." So I guess after that misfire, they went to try. I guess they went to try it. Yeah, I don't know. But all I know, when they went out the second time, that was it. I lost 47 brothers. Never see them again. But go ahead.
No, you finish.
Mm-hmm. But then when I did see them again, it wasn't how I wanted to see them.
And we're going to get to that. Now you said you said the second boom, that was it. Where were you when the second boom? Now listen, I know it's been 32 years. If you need, and I know it seems like yesterday. So if you need a moment, if you get emotional and you need a moment, that's well understood, man.
I can't cry. They so destroyed. I can't cry. But
can you come close to the mic? Can you come closer
I say my emotions so damaged that I can't cry. So it's just like I don't know. It's weird to say, but I just can't cry. I have emotional feelings, but I can't get a tear out, and I deal with it. But sometimes it makes life hard. So, after the captain said that it was not a drill, that it was we had one casualty. So I just went. I grabbed them in my work clothes. And I went to running down the starboard side of the ship.
Which is the right side, correct?
Side, correct. Right. And I think, hold on, let me back up.
It's been a long time, right?
But anyway, all I know, running through the ship with my clothes in my hand, looking like O.J. Simpson, trying to get back to my battle station. So once I got there, they said,
Tell me about the second boom. The second boom.
The second boom, It's just like it didn't sound normal to me. Cause the first one, it's three guns on that one turret. It's like they fired the first one, and then when the middle one jammed, they had the misfire. And I guess they tried it again, like I said, and that's when all hell broke loose.
So when did you realize? Because you said the captain said this is not a drill,
right.
and you said you picked your clothes up and was running. At that moment, you knew that there was something terribly wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And when did you find out? And where were you when you found out what exactly was terribly wrong? When the 47 sailors were killed. When did you find that out?
I guess
come closer. Come closer, please.
I guess once I got to my battle station, got inside of the turret, that's when the gunners made that run the turret was like, man, this is real bad, them guys is gone. So once they got here, they had everybody come up main deck. And this the hard part was going to fight the fire, get the fire under control, get it out, then just send the burnt bodies, And
did you see the fire when you were running with your clothes? Because
well, it's like they lost power in below deck, in the berthing there. The power went out. It was black dark because of the lanterns on the bulkhead. They automatically come on once the power is cut off. So then it just started, it was a funny odor, a funny smoke smell that was, in the area, but not knowing that was, burning flesh smell. Yeah.
So when you came, when did you get a chance to get dressed though? From running?
Once I got it, once as I got to my battle station, I was able to get dressed and, deck out like we supposed to. Then they brought everybody up on main deck to, get on the fire line and help fight the fire.
So when you guys were on the main deck, did you actually see the fire or you just saw the smoke? Because people don't know that.
Go ahead.
Huh? No, people don't know that in the turret, when we say the turret, there's like 3 levels in the turret, so you can go inside. So right. I'm trying to paint a picture for them. When you guys are on the deck and the inside of the turret exploded, but did you see fire or smoke or what is it that you saw? Because there's so many, there were various levels to the turret.
By the time I go in turret, we got up top, it was pretty much smoke. The guys, they was already fighting the fire. So it was just real smoke. But before I got there, see where our berthing space were, it was around the big thick armor of Turk 2. So I got a lot of smoke inhalation and the smell from being in my rack because I was working at night. And, I was able to smell that and assume that weird odor right there from sleeping in the compartment while I was off work.
Okay, so at what point did you realize that, you knew there was a fire, you knew there was an explosion, but I'm sure that you didn't know that 47 of your friends were dead right away. It took a little, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So at what point did you realize that there was a lot more than one casualty?
When they started bringing the body bags, to go in there and get the bodies.
And you were still fighting the fire while they were bringing body bags out?
Yes, because they knew it, they was gone. Once they had got the fire under control because it was real hot. That fire was real hot. It was so hot with it. it was melting some of the metal that was in the surrounding area. I believe Bramble, he's one of the ones. He's one of the survivors of that gun turret, and as he was escaping, I think the hot metal was falling on his head. I think that was happening. I remember him telling me the story, but
Yeah.
I didn't
And
know
big
that.
up to Frambo too, because he's supposed to be on this interview. I hope he's all right, but I'll holler at him a little later. And do
Okay.
you remember him? Do you remember seeing him escape?
I didn't know. I didn't have a clue because we was all main deck. Because once your boy ship on the way, it's our own hand, everybody party, firefighting, this, that, it's just so many responsibilities that the crew has when you're on the way aboard ship. So, and that day, that was all, it was like a Chinese fire drill, I would guess.
Try to stay close. Try to stay close.
Everybody was just all over the place. Some people just breaking down in disbelief about what occurred because like that night before on the mess decks, we was all just playing spades. We always had a spade tournament every night. That's because, every night we played spades and movie night, it was just that was like our big playroom when we was underway.
Right. Mm-hmm. And for those who might have just joined in, we're talking about the terrible explosion of the USS Iowa in 1999, where 47 young sailors were killed because they were young, 19, 18, 20, maybe 21. So I want to fast forward a little bit. Mm-hmm. You said that they were bringing the guys out in the body bags. I want you to tell me how graphic and horrific and exactly what you saw, because I know there were body parts here and legs here and torsos over there, and you just said you were playing cards with these guys, so it must be extra hard to. Right. And you said you had a conversation, what, a hour or so before. Right. He was one of your sailor friends said he wanted to go home, yeah. And then the next thing you know, you see him with no head. So can you tell me the gory details of exactly what you saw and how did you recognize whoever you recognized?
Really, it wasn't no recognition. Everything was just
Can you come closer? Try to stay close.
No recognition. Everything was just burnt. I just know some of the steps we did to put bodies in the body bag, and it's something that just don't go away. Putting them below deck, in the freezer.
And there wasn't enough body bags. Am I correct?
I can't. I don't. I guess after I had them toted by 10 bodies, I couldn't take no more.
Yeah, because one of our shipmates said they didn't even have enough body bags. They started taking the bodies out, or half of the bodies, or part of the bodies, in garbage bags. And you said you couldn't take it after a while. How did you react? You started crying or throwing up, or
just in this state of shock, like, wow, what have I got myself into? But God is good. I'm here. I'm sorry.
And how old were you?
Hmm?
How old were you during this experience?
I was 19. I was 19 years of age. I was married, 2 kids, and it just went south, and just before the explosion, I had done buckled myself down and really start participating as a Navy sailor. I went in a little hard headed, but after a while, I said, well, I'm in here. I might always do what's right, and I started enjoying it. But then this situation occurred, and it kind of like threw me for a big loop and lost, like wow, and not even knowing. Once we had got back in, maybe 2 weeks of returning, we had done been back in the port, and I noticed that. Well, I really didn't notice. Things just was occurring at my home that would never ever happen before. I was more argumentative and she was like, something's wrong. And I was telling myself that I was all right. But in the long run, I was really screwed up. I was really screwed up.
So tell me about some of one of the friends that you lost, man. Share with us how he or they were. Like Fogarty. Was that his name? Fogarty?
Yeah, Tyrone.
Tyrone Fogarty. Where was he from?
Oh.
And if his family is watching, big respect and love.
All I remember him, Bramble good with that. He know it to a T. But anyway, the most wonderful thing I always remember about Foley.
Come a little closer. Try to stay close, please.
The most memorable thing I always remember about Foley, that was one singing cat. That boy knew he could sing. He could sing. And I remember we pulled into New Orleans for Navy Week. And I think the first night we went on Liberty, and we went to some club in New Orleans, and Bramble was saying, Foley said, I'm gonna win this tonight. And that joker went up there and sung Ribbon in the Sky. Oh my goodness. Boy, he tore it up. I mean, he tore it up, and he won. He won the contest.
Where was he from?
I want to say he was from Texas, Tennessee, something like that. Yeah, he was country to the heart, but he was a good cat. He was a good cat.
Anyone else you would like to mention that you remember?
Man, yes, I had a lot of because
let's talk about them, man, because they died so young, man. So let's try to keep their memory alive.
I was a couple years older than those guys, and since I was married and I stayed, off base, Seaman Goins, he was a gunner's mate. He was a seaman. He hadn't been on that long, and me and him became real good friends. I was like a mentor to one, and he was my barber as well. Mm-hmm. I lost him. The young man out of Tampa, Florida. Oh man, I was just talking about him the other day. Him, it's just so many that I can remember. But
do you remember Goins' first name?
All I can remember is Jerome, Goins, and
and I'm saying that because for people who don't know, when you're in the Navy, we call each other by our last names.
Right.
Because there could be a million Jimmys or a million Marks or a million Kevins. So we call each other by our last names. So just for those who didn't know, I wanted to clarify that. So you said Goins. You don't remember Goins' first name? Jerome, you said?
Jerome Goins. He was out of Ohio.
And who else? Because I want to pay some homage, man.
Oh man, the young fella he was from Tampa, Florida. And he started, man, in fact, me and him met at the gym playing basketball, and he always wanted to play on the ship team, and he got his opportunity, but he hadn't been on the ships about 2 or 3 months, and he was lost his life just doing their job,
And can you think of one more?
I
that you might have had a relationship with, you were friends with, or?
There's so many of them.
Yeah, I understand.
It get kind of rough sometimes, but those Tyrone formerly and Jerome getting are the most two that sticks out the most though, because
Right.
we come to supply on the same day, coming out of deck division. We became SHs on the same day. That was something that that we held close because we was self-serving at the same time, and we always used to talk about it before we went to supply. You're like, man, I want to be a self-serving. I like, yeah, I've been thinking about the same thing, and boom, it happened. And man, I tell you, it was fun till then.
Now, we talked about the ship. We talked about you. We talked about GQ. We led up to the explosion, and we talked about the explosion, and we talked about the deaths. Now, I want to get into the cause of the explosion. You ready for that? Now, I came 2 weeks later, and I could still smell the death in the air. And did you ever see the movie I told you about, A Glimpse of Hell? Did you ever check it out yet? Now, there were some true scenes there, and I say that because I remember that very specific. I remember certain things, like when the captain came to the turrets, because people were scared because we were shooting guns again. So I remember Bolden. You remember Bolden?
Right.
From Chicago?
Right, yeah.
I remember him having a Bible and praying, because I see like they were really scared. Yeah. And then the captain came down and tried to reassure everybody, say, it's okay, don't worry, it's going to be all right. And that same thing happened in the movie. And I remember saying, whoever sent them the script, they had to be on the ship, because this really happened. I remember that. So to move on from that, we know that the USS Iowa was an old battleship, I believe from the 40s, maybe even before it. And that was the original gunpowder. Nothing was new as far as we knew. So I want to know, do you think that the old gunpowder caused the explosion? What do you think? And then I'm going to elaborate on that.
I still haven't come up with an answer on that, because
32 years later, because I know some families want to know, and they want to hear this from people that was there, and not these uppity ups who weren't there and just want to cover their backs and be political. Some families are listening, they want to know. And you were there, and that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, because I remember.
Come a little closer. Try to stay closer to the mic.
Some cannons open with the seal and everything. They were still brand new. And they was dated from way back, but they were still fresh, like they was just been made in the 80s.
The gunpowder, right?
Yes, the powder bags, right?
Mm-hmm. And so you don't believe. Now, I want to be sensitive, but I want to get the point across. Now, I'm not going to say the name, okay? Because if the family sees this, I don't want to be insensitive. The young man that the Navy said was homosexual, and that he caused the explosion because he was going through some things with one of the guys on the ship. Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that.
I'm sorry?
No, I don't believe that.
So you
because
think that was a cover up?
I believe
You
so.
think the
Yeah,
Navy was trying to cover themselves?
had to be because I didn't actually know them, but I used to see them all together. But they was just like normal guys. It didn't look like they was had anything like love affair going on. Uh, what the cat name? I think he was out of Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. I don't. In this situation, I don't want to say no names because I don't want to be insensitive and to the family, especially. I'm going to say since it's a lie, but if it's a lie, I don't want to be insensitive. So
I don't know. I never did see it,
and
because
you was there, and you at that time, if there was two guys having an affair, sooner or later, especially being out in the water, sooner or later you're gonna see something.
right.
Sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Right, but like I said, personally, I never seen it. I didn't know if they was lovers or just buddies. I don't know what was going on. We were just
So,
on the ship. We all one team when we on the ship.
right. So you don't believe that rumor was true. You think that's the Navy covering itself? Okay. So let me ask you a question. Um. Now everybody knew, including the captain, that the weapons and the powder bags were old. Now, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there an admiral on board that day?
Right. Yes. Was he from the Sixth Fleet or Seventh Fleet Admiral? He come out. I guess Captain just wanted to show how big and bad that battleship really was, because the USS Iowa was the only ship in the fleet that actually had a bathtub on it.
I need you to stay close, man, so we can hear you.
Sorry about that. I say that Iowa was a unique ship because I think it was the only ship in the fleet that really actually had a bathtub for in the war in the captain's cabin. I believe they had an actual bathtub because I think one of the old presidents was on there during the war, and he had it put in. The story I was told.
Oh,
once I got there.
So in your firsthand opinion, you believe that the captain, even though he knew that the equipment was old, and I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go to what I was gonna say. So you're saying that, or are you saying, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you believe that the captain wanted to show how big and bad his ship was and the crew was, and that's why he did that shooting exercise, even though he knew that some of the equipment was faulty. He was showing off.
Yes, correct.
And I'm not going to say his name because I want to be fair. I don't want to be insensitive, even though it was 32 years later. But that makes sense. And I was told that he had funds to fix that stuff. He knew it was faulty, but he just didn't do it. He just didn't do it.
Right.
So he was showing off, huh?
Yeah, the USS Iowa, it was one of the famous ships in the fleet from World War II when we got hit. I guess that was Japanese missiles that hit the side of the ship. Matter of fact, the gun turret too. It had got hit in one of the wars, but it didn't really do no damage. And it was so amazing, the ship of that nature and size, the speed of the ship, how fast it can get across that water. It was like a Cadillac. It was like a Cadillac in the lake.
So so after 32 years later, it's still unfounded, right? There's never been a cause. The Navy, well, of course, the Navy ain't gonna blame the Navy and say that the equipment was faulty or old. So after 32 years, there's still no certified reason, correct?
Correct.
Or cause of explosion, I should say.
Right. To my knowledge, I don't know. It haven't been brought to my attention that there was a portable cause of what happened, or a direct cause of what happened. So, that's the big brass, as we would call. That was the big brass information that they kept. The Blue Jackets really didn't get that. If we did get it because somebody was snooping their nose in the business and they got down so the Blue Jackets could know about it. But yeah, that was like wardroom. That was like an officer knowledge of what happened, and they just kept it right there.
Right. You got to watch A Glimpse of Hell, man. You have to YouTube it or something, man. You have to. So after the explosion, now I came about when we went to the second 6-month tour. Remember, we went to Germany and me and you was kicking it in Egypt. We ain't gonna say what was going down in Egypt, and we was playing a lot of ball. So how did you feel going to GQ after the explosion? Was you scared? Was you worried? Was you hesitant, or were you confident?
I was nervous.
Were you shaky?
I was real shaky. I was nervous because I didn't know what was going on, because once it went off, like I said earlier, that the ship was dark, and I had to run down the starboard side of the ship trying to get there, and being so tall and running through those passageways. I was just hoping I didn't hit my head because I was coming up fast and trying to get there because I didn't know what was going on. I just remember the captain said, "This is not a drill, and we already have one casualty." Then the odor, then the smoke a little bit. So I just took off. I know I had to grab my boots and my dungarees and my shirt and get in battle gear for general quarters.
Yeah, you're a real hero, man. And you were a hero at a young age. And this is why I wanted to do this interview, because the world needs to know. Like I said, they just know about the 47 people that died, but they need to know about the other 20 something, 2,000 and some change that lived. And it's because of you and some others. And I'm not gonna keep you much longer, but I have to touch this, man. I have to touch these things. Now tell us about the recognition. When I say the recognition, because of what you did, the president at the time gave you guys some recognition, even though I wasn't on the ship.
Right.
At the time, I don't consider myself, the recognition. I'm not a hero because you guys are better than me, because if I would experience that and the captain said we got to go back and do that again, I'm not going nowhere. I don't care what you say. So you guys have a strong mentality, because I would have been totally different. I'm not going nowhere. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not going down there. So I applaud y'all for having that discipline. You know what I mean? Especially at that age. I'm like, what? So what I want to know is, tell us about the recognition that the president gave you guys for saving the ship. The president at that time, was it the first Bush or the second?
I think that was Daddy Bush.
It was Papa Bush.
Papa Bush. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, tell us about the recognition that you guys got.
We was in the Navy Air Station in NOB at Norfolk Naval Base, and he came in, and they had their little ceremony, and it was brought back to my attention by Seaman Harvey that he had he said that he was gonna make sure that we was, what we taking care of our great knowledge and bravery for what happened aboard ship. So I think he give us the Navy Unit Commendation Medal. And
and that's from the president, man. See, this is why I'm having this. If the president is going to give you guys some acknowledgement, the world needs to give you some acknowledgement. Right. The president, man. So this is exactly why I'm excited about doing this. See, because I was there close, and I've seen and I've sensed what you guys must have been through, because you still smell the death. And it's a constant reminder. And for you guys to keep saying and to be so young and to be so responsible and to keep you cool, you have to be compensated, man. Even if just by recognition alone, and hopefully something comes after that. So how does it affect you all this time later? Because you a hero, man. You a hero, man. Bramble's a hero. Harvey's a hero. And I'm sorry if I know I'm missing a lot of names, but you guys are the ones I keep in touch with. So that's why I'm saying it. And I know I'm missing a lot. And I'm sorry, but you a hero, man. And how has it affected you 32 years later?
Oh, it's been a living nightmare.
Come closer.
It's been a living nightmare. It's just like being like when I first started going to mental health. I was telling them, I'm always suicidal. I always have that crazy thought, but I never carried out because I don't sleep well. I get 2 or 3 hours, I stay up all day, but I have this dream of me reliving that day all over 24/7. Like it plays through my mind so much where I be lost, but I have to carry a smile on my face because I'm tore up so much on the inside. And
because you what? Say it again.
Because I'm tore up so much on the inside emotionally that it's hard to explain to them, and they don't understand why blood pressure be high, why I have the moves, why this, why that. And I constantly tell my mental health provider, I say this tragedy right here it don't go nowhere. It don't go nowhere. I be asleep sometimes and just jump up out my sleep like I'm on the ship. Like I be like really thinking I'm on the ship when I'm asleep. So, then I had to prove that I was on the ship to recognize, to get things, in order. But I was like, okay, like for instance, I never knew that we made headline news Peter Jennings that day. Until
and Australia too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. It's a clip on YouTube. And it comes up, and there's this one of our shipmates that's is giving an interview, and I was like, man, me and this guy here, we was mess cranking together, and I can't call his name because I'm just bad like that, but I remember him. I remember him just so well, and it was something he said in his interview that kind of like was the same thing I was dealing with. Just always thinking about the night before how we was flaws playing spades and laughing and having movie night until like what went wrong.
And we still don't know.
Still don't know.
32 years later, a lot of families and parents still don't have closure. Brothers, sisters, uncles, they still don't have closure.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely a hero. So I know there's a memorial now every April 19th. Can you tell us about that? Where and when it is, and have you attended?
It's always the weekend of the 19th of April. It's like 3 days. I know they have one. The one I attended, it was 25 years before I attended my first one. And it was in Virginia Beach. But they had been doing it prior to me getting aboard. And it's such a wonderful thing to see all those guys again, and just to be able to share the same story and laugh and reminisce. It was just so wonderful, man. It was just like brother love all over again, but we're just a little older. But we was all young, and if some of the guys that was there, they were much older than us because they hadn't already had the Navy experience prior to us coming to the ship. But
right.
Yeah, like let's see, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I had went to California, went to Los Angeles, and that was my first time being aboard ship before they deconned it. I was on the second crew before they took it to the shipyard in Philadelphia. So that was the last. It had been almost 30 years since I had seen the ship. And
I was with you. I'm part of that same crew.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I never knew that, but it was, it was kind of rough, because from a distance when I saw us when we was going to the location, I was kind of like trying to man up about the situation and not really break down. But as we got closer there, I was scared. Big old me was scared, like, wow, I'm gonna really be able to go aboard this ship, and and don't freak out. So I calmed down, and the most beautiful thing I got out of that was able to share my experience aboard ship with the tourists. That it was a tour going on that Memorial Day, and I was telling them that I'm an original crew member. I was aboard when the gun exploded, and it was just amazing how many people just gathered around me and was just so amazed that I was telling them about the story, the situation, and they said, "You was on board?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I was on board. I was 19 years old, and so I had got there too late to actually get to go down below deck. So they said the next time I come, they're going to let me go down below deck, go to my workspace, and go to my living quarters. I want to go down there and just see my old wreck and just reminisce a little bit. I just want to go and try to have a little peace of mind with it, because that was one of my best duty stations I ever had in the Navy, USS IOWA. That was the most I had never. Well, on the IOWA, I've been to a place I never thought I'd ever go.
Me and you both.
Yeah, like when we sailed around. I think we were leaving Morocco, and we sailed around the big rock on Potential, get a piece of the rock.
The Rock of Gibraltar.
Yes.
You remember that, huh?
Yeah. Then the other crazy thing, I think it was the Suez Canal we went through. Did we go through the Suez?
I don't remember that.
I think I was on the other vessel when I was going to the Persian Gulf, but it was just.
I remember the bomb scare in England.
Yeah. I remember that. And I remember when we pulled into Haifa, Israel, I took the tour and I watched a couple shipmates get baptized in the Jordan River. Now that was cool.
Oh man. Wow, I didn't go there, because I know some people went to Jesus's grave, and me being stupid, I wish I could turn back the hands of time. I went to go play basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you say you was telling people about the explosion, I just want to be clear because the ship is a museum now.
Right, correct.
And people come see it. And where is it at this? In case somebody's listening and want to go.
It's in San Pedro, California.
California.
San Pedro, California. Okay. It's across the bay out of Los Angeles, and it's a museum. Tour every day, and it just, to me, it was a rough return home. So, but I adjusted myself. I calmed down, and they were asking me, "Well, all right," and I I just have to get it together so I can come on board. I just flashed back, But that was one amazing ship, man. I must say. I'm so sorry that the tragic had, but man, we go on those 6-month cruises. Every 2 days we report briefing.
Yeah, I had a ball, man. You remember? I remember the first time. Remember Kiel, West Germany?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That was my first. That was my first overseas experience.
Remember the Greenpeace was out there protesting?
Oh, I talk about that all the time. I thought we was going to get shot at. There's all them boats, and you know why they was protesting, right? They were protesting,
right?
Huh?
Did they have something to do with the nuclear?
Yeah. They were protesting because we had nuclear weapons on our ship, and they ain't want nuclear weapons in their country.
Mm-hmm.
And good thing they wasn't crazy because we were sitting ducks.
Yes.
We do you remember we had to leave early and go to Lebanon, I think, and we was unloading. We was unloading.
We was in what we in
I don't remember where we was at. I remember we had to leave early and we was unloading ammo.
Were we in Rio Desert?
It could have been.
Yeah, because we was on Liberty. We was on Liberty. We had to return back to the boat that day. And
I don't think it was Rio. I don't think it was
Marseille, France.
Oh, what up? How long you been involved, man? Where you been?
I mean, it was Marseille, France.
Oh,
Marseille,
okay.
France. Right. Marseille, France. Okay.
Why you ain't speaking up, Harvey?
Because Big Hess was on the mic, man.
Yo.
Bramble, what up, bro? Yo.
What's up, man?
I love y'all, man. How y'all doing, man?
Man, doing good,
man.
What's going on, fellas?
You know what, man?
What's up,
you missed out. You know, this was the thing, right?
What's up, brother?
Before the explosion, right? We were on our way moving to Staten Island, New York. That was going to be our home port.
Right. Yep. Now that you
that was going to be our home port. Stapleton, Naval, home port.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, because I was happy because remember a lot of the fellas we went to school with, they was going to Wagner College in Staten Island. Then we were going to be stationed in Staten Island. It was just going to be a crazy. Yeah, it's home, man.
How long y'all been on?
That might not have been a good thing. Things worked out easy.
Right.
Yeah, right. I got to clean up to do renovating my house now. So
all right, Hess. So they're gonna take over, man. Thanks for the love.
Gonna take over.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. And I'll talk with you guys later, man.
All right, bro. Hey, Hess.
Ain't no way, my boy.
Hey, you gonna make the reunion this year, right?
Right. I'll be
there. Okay,
all right.
Cool.
All right, Bramble, man. Good to see you guys, man.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we're gonna continue this real quick. How long was you on, Bob?
I was on for a minute.
See, Harvey, this is for those who's listening. This is the Harvey that we was talking about, and Frambo.
Yay.
We was talking about this young man right now, looking all sensual, like he waiting on his woman or something to come in the room. You know what I mean?
Man.
Now, you know what I wanted to ask you though, Frambo? Because Hester was talking about you actually being in turn two when the explosion happened, and
Right.
you escaping. So could you tell me what was going like at that moment when you knew something was wrong and how you got out and if anyone was responsible for you getting out, helping
Well,
you?
well, it was me that was letting the guys know that that it was an explosion because I was actually on I was actually on radio at that time. I had the quote comes on my ear, and you could actually hear the explosion. So it wasn't like it was what it sounds like when the ship is sending a bomb out. But this time it just sounded like a real bang, like it was inside our area.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it was leaving us. Say it again.
Are you referring to the sound power phone you were on?
Right. That's what I was on those. So
right. So was I.
And that's when it was like. And that's when it was like. Right.
Oh,
right. I was on that as well.
So
I said I was on the sound.
I hear you. I got one more question for you, Frambo. Then I'm gonna come to you, Harvey. Frambo.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to you, Harvey. Frambo.
Yes.
All right.
I want you to name, out of respect and consideration, all of the 40. Well, as many as the 47 sailors that passed away that day.
Good luck. I probably couldn't name 3 or 4 of them.
well, I know you. I'm sure you were friends with at least 1 or 2.
Right.
So can you name them?
I could, like Rodney. He was a gunner's mate. He was Rodney Williams. That was the guy he was a gunner's mate, and he was actually the one that was his body was burned, was charred to the wheel inside the he was training of the gun, the training of the turn.
Mm-hmm.
His body was charred to that. So Rodney Williams, I know him because I had been to he was from Columbia, South Carolina, and I had actually went home with him a couple of times. Of course, Tyrone Foley, good friend of mine. Hey man, God Almighty, man. The young man that was from Miami, down in the Miami area, young kid. He had just got on the ship. Bradshaw, that's his name.
Bradshaw.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, man. Good guy.
Funny people. Oh.
Man, it was. We had some.
After 32 years later, how did the explosion affect you now?
I to actually smell smoke, I can't stand it. Fire, I can't stand it. Certain songs that you hear, it's a memory. It's like a memory. You hear your friends. You're not your friends. I take that back. We didn't have friends on that boat. We had brothers. I mean, because those guys were so, we were so close together. So, you hear your brothers.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Harvey, I got a question for you. Harvey?
Yeah, I'm here.
How do you keep it together 32 years later, man? And how has seeing, because like I told Hester, the reason why I wanted to bring you guys together is because you're heroes, man. And if the president is giving you accolades, I feel that the rest of America should give you accolades because you were young, you were black, and you, even though 47 lives were lost, y'all helped save over 2,000 lives. And I want the world to know that. Also, I want to know, all of these years later, man, how does it affect you personally still?
Well, it affects me daily, bro. I mean, when I say daily, I mean every hour. Every hour on the hour, it's always a reflection of that day. Like he was saying, Bradshaw. If you knew Bradshaw, this dude was the funniest dude you could ever meet. Straight liar, but you want to hear the lies. You want to hear the good stuff. He was a good dude, man. He was real funny, and I believe his uncle was the White Gooden, I believe it was. If I'm not, it was one of those two. But what I do, man. Like this is what I do, man. I do my music, man. I do my music, and that's therapy for me, man. It's therapeutic for me, man. I do my music, and I just try to, just deal with it, man. It's like, it's something that you really can't even explain, man. It was a heavy day, man. And when you say 2,000, man, I look at it a little different, man, because the USS Iowa was not only America's #1, but it was the baddest ship in the world. You know what I'm saying? Hands down, nobody wanted smoke. Nobody.
And for a long time, too.
For forever. As long as it was floating. Nobody wanted smoke with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it can give you everything. You know what I'm saying? We can give you whatever you want. We can give it to you. And just by that boat not having a complete catastrophe, that's a symbol of America. You know what I'm saying? We had an explosion, and 2 months later, we was like, yo, all right, we out. 1 is down, 2 is still moving. We out. Let's keep it moving. And we was ready.
And that's because of what you guys and other guys did. And I realize it. And that's why I want the world to know, man. And you're saying it so nonchalantly, but it means so much. And I have the ultimate respect for you guys.
You was there, bro. It's like, because after the explosion, there was a freeze. We couldn't shoot for a minute, investigations, things, bureaucratic stuff. I don't know, we gotta wait though. No shooting, no nothing. Everything brand new. You know what I'm saying? We had to get everything brand new, get everything. We would do this all over again. But right now, everything stops across the whole board. The whole Navy shut down. No shooting. Nobody shooting nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, they had to go through all of that. And then when it was time for us to go overseas, it was like, all right, we got our weapons from Yorktown. Okay. We're going to be rocking and rolling. And then when we get overseas, we heavy. We heavy. We ready to go. And we, they're like, yo, we finna do some little practice, practice runs and all of that. That part was kind of was crazy, but when you love your country, man, and you believe in what your country stands for, you'll go through whatever, especially when you're young, especially when you don't know certain things, when you indoctrinated and you just that's what it is when you're young, man. You got somebody gung ho and they ready to go because we was ready to go. We all felt like we was brothers, you know what I'm saying? If it's gonna go down, we're gonna go down with my bro. We wasn't just shipmates, man. We brothers, man. And that relationship is what really helped a lot of people out, I believe, from the beginning, because that day was different. It was super different. Just coming home after the explosion, seeing all those thousands and thousands of people on the pier. Boats meeting us before we can get there. They meeting us at the Bay Bridge. They meeting us. Just that whole experience, man, you know, it was a whole big situation, man, and we were young. You know what I mean? We were very young
and brave, young and brave.
Young, brave, patriotic, you know, gullible. I mean, it's just all of that, you know. But we were there, you know. We were there and we held it down, you know. Because, bro, let me tell you something, man. That smell, a lot of people wouldn't be able to take that smell. You know, explosion happened. You know, everything is, you know, boom, we getting ready to roll out, but that smell was still there. So we got up every day with that smell on our brain. But when you on a mission and when you doing things for your country and you doing things you believe in at that time, you know, you're gonna go all out. You know, and that's the power of a person's will. You know.
Right. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Harvey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You know, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. You know.
I can dig it. And Bramble, let me ask you a question, sir.
Go ahead.
What do you think caused the explosion, man? And do you believe the rumors?
I was listening to you ask. Hester, Big Hester, that question. I was listening then when you asked that. I was actually down in the powder room when the explosion actually happened. So I can tell you what my eyes saw was a powder bag that says 1953. So, I mean, to say that, you know, this man, you know, I don't believe that. I've never believed that. You know, he was with me. He was down there with me. I would never believe that he was a homo and him and his guy had something going on. I'd never believe anything like that. But you know what I do believe is that we had some old powder bags on there and we rammed those things and those things blew up. I do believe that. And to say, you know, to put someone's name in that type of situation, I would never believe that. If that answers your question.
Yeah, that answers my question, man, because you were eyewitness. So no one can say it clearer and better than you. You were eyewitness. You was literally there. You
right
like
there.
You said you was down there with them. And again, out of respect for the family, in case they see this, we're not gonna say no more.
I know. I heard you, and I heard you when you had asked, you know, Hester that question, and I'm like, you know, but I was not rude, so I didn't, you know, interrupt it. But no, there's no way in the world that man could have and would have. You know, I just don't think the family, the bond that we built would never happen to anyone.
So you're saying it was the Navy's fault, even though they didn't want to admit it?
I put blame on someone. I would have to. I don't think we should have been. I don't think we had already had an offload. I don't think we should have been firing anything.
And you agree that you think he was showing off for the Admiral?
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Okay. Well, I didn't know you guys were on this long, and you know, thank you. Did you win the night, by the way?
I did, man. We won. We won big too.
Well, that's good, man. Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and Harvey and Bramble, like I said, you guys are heroes, and I want the world to know. I want you to get your flowers now, and people remember the explosion, but they don't know who stopped the ship from blowing up even more. And like Harvey said, it was more than 2,000 in the long run. So I thank you for your time. You were a young man. I thank you for your courage. I thank you for participating, and hopefully we can get you some flowers while you can still smell them. And like I said, if the president gives you accolades, then the rest of America must. It doesn't matter if it's 32 years later. It still happened.